High in the eucalyptus hills, where the trees swayed gently in the night breeze and the scent of rain mixed with the sweet leaves, a little koala named Kipp was trying to keep his eyes open. The night was soft and misty, and tiny drops of rain tapped against the leaves like a slow lullaby. Kipp held a small lantern in his paw, its golden light flickering against his round sleepy eyes. He had been waiting all evening for something special, his very first campfire under the stars, even though the clouds were heavy with rain. The forest around him was alive with gentle sounds. The croak of frogs echoed from the creek, crickets chirped in the tall grass, and above it all, the rain fell in a soft, steady rhythm. Kipp's little wooden tent was warm and cozy, but his heart pulled him outside. He wanted to build a fire, to sit by its glow, and listen to the rain fall around him. He had gathered twigs earlier, piling them neatly under a big leafy branch to keep them dry. He even carried a tiny pouch of eucalyptus bark his mother gave him, saying, "This will help the fire catch, even in the rain." Kipp shuffled closer to the clearing where he hoped to light his campfire. Drops of rain splashed on his fuzzy ears, but he didn't mind. He carefully placed the sticks in a circle, just like he had seen the older animals do. His paws moved slowly, almost like he was already dreaming, arranging everything just right. When he struck the little firestones together, the sparks danced like golden fireflies before disappearing into the damp air. For a moment, he thought it wouldn't work, and his head drooped sadly. But then, just as a soft breeze passed, the tiniest flame caught on the bark. The fire grew, glowing orange and red, and its warmth mixed beautifully with the cool rain that still drizzled gently from the clouds. The smoke curled upward, disappearing into the night, and Kipp's eyes sparkled with joy. He sat close to the glow, his round belly full of warmth, his tiny paws tucked together. "A rainy night, a little fire, and me," he whispered softly to himself. "This is my campfire dream." As the fire crackled, the raindrops seemed to soften their song, as if the sky itself wanted to listen. The whole forest grew quieter, calmer, and even the trees leaned in closer. The sleepy little koala had made his rainy campfire, and now the magic of the night was ready to begin. The little fire popped and crackled as if it were whispering secrets only Kipp could hear. His eyelids drooped, but his heart was full of excitement, because for the first time, he had made his own campfire in the middle of a rainy night. The warmth wrapped around him like a cozy blanket, and for a moment, he thought he would simply sit alone with the fire until sleep carried him away. But then, he heard it, the faint rustle of paws on wet leaves. From the shadows of the forest came a small figure hopping carefully between puddles. It was Pip the possum, with his big round eyes shining bright in the glow of Kipp's fire. "Kipp," Pip called in a hushed voice. "Is that really your fire? On such a rainy night?" His whiskers twitched with surprise. Kipp smiled sleepily and nodded. "I didn't think it would catch, but it did. Come sit, it's warm." Pip scampered over, shaking off tiny droplets from his fur before curling beside the glow. Not long after, another sound joined, the steady plop-plop of webbed feet splashing through puddles. It was Luma the little duck, waddling along with her soft yellow feathers damp from the drizzle. She carried a small umbrella made of a lily leaf balanced carefully on her head. "Oh, a fire in the rain," she quacked gently. "How wonderful. May I stay too?" Kipp moved over, making space, and soon the three of them sat together, watching the sparks rise like golden stars. The night grew deeper, and the rain tapped rhythmically on the trees like a slow drumbeat. Then came the soft flutter of wings, and down from the eucalyptus branches swooped Tilly the sugar glider. She landed gracefully on the ground, her big eyes wide with curiosity. "I saw the light from way up high," she said, brushing raindrops from her fur. "A rainy campfire party? Don't mind if I join." She curled up close, her little tail wrapped snug around her. One by one, more forest friends appeared, drawn by the warmth and glow. A hedgehog with tiny shiny spines, a sleepy bandicoot rubbing his eyes, even a family of glowworms who nestled near the fire, lighting up the clearing with a soft green twinkle that blended with the flames. The drizzle softened into a mist, and for a while, the whole forest seemed to breathe slower, calmer, in the circle of light. Kipp looked around at his friends and felt his chest warm in a way the fire alone could never give. He had thought the campfire would be his dream alone, but now it was something greater, a gathering, a gentle shelter under the rain where no one felt alone. "This isn't just my campfire," Kipp whispered sleepily, "it's ours." The others nodded, their eyes glistening in the firelight. The fire crackled, the rain hushed to a lullaby, and the friends sat together, the glow painting soft shadows on their faces. The sleepy koala, who thought he would spend the rainy night by himself, had unknowingly built a place of warmth for the whole forest. And as the night deepened, the fire's gentle song promised more magic yet to come. The rain continued to patter lightly, weaving its soft lullaby through the trees, while the fire in the clearing glowed steady and warm. The circle of friends sat close, and though their eyes were heavy with sleep, the night seemed to invite stories, gentle, dreamy tales whispered under the hush of the forest. Pip the possum was the first to speak, his whiskers twitching as he leaned toward the flames. "When I was little," he said, "my mama told me the stars were holes in the sky that let the light from the dream world shine through. If you look closely, you can see which dreams belong to who." He pointed upward, and everyone followed his paw. "See that big bright one? That's mine. A dream where I'm running across clouds, faster than the wind." The others smiled, and Tilly the sugar glider sighed happily. "That's beautiful, Pip. Maybe the stars are all of our dreams stitched together." Then Luma the duck quacked softly, adjusting her lily leaf umbrella. "My favorite story is about the rainbow hidden inside every raindrop. If you listen closely to the rain, you can almost hear the colors trying to hum. Red is a low warm hum, orange is cheerful, yellow is a giggle, green is calm, blue is sleepy, and purple is quiet as a whisper." She tilted her head as the drizzle fell gently. "Can you hear it?" The friends all closed their eyes, and for a moment the forest seemed to glow with invisible music, soft and magical. The glowworms twinkled brighter, as if they agreed, and then Tilly leaned in, her eyes sparkling. "I know a story too," she said. "It's about the eucalyptus trees. They say the tallest one holds a secret ladder that reaches right into the moon. If you climb high enough, the moon will welcome you with a silver blanket and rock you to sleep." Kipp let out a soft yawn, imagining himself curled under a glowing silver moon blanket, rocked by the sky itself. But it wasn't just stories they shared. The hedgehog, shy but proud, pushed forward a shiny pebble he had carried in his pouch. "I always keep this with me," he whispered. "It's smooth and round, and it reminds me of my burrow, safe and warm. I want you all to hold it, so you'll know what safety feels like." One by one, each friend touched the pebble, its coolness grounding them in a deep, comforting way. Luma reached into her wing and revealed a feather she had been saving, small and golden, glowing faintly from the reflection of the fire. This feather fell from a kingfisher's wing. "They say it brings sweet dreams if you place it under your head. I want it to be ours now, to keep our dreams safe together." The others nodded, and Kipp tucked it gently beside the glowing fire. Then came the soft humming of a song. It was Pip again, his voice low and drowsy, carrying a tune like the sway of branches in the rain. "Sleep little forest, sleep little flame, we're all together, all the same." Soon Luma joined in, her quacking turning into a sweet melody, and even Tilly hummed along. The glowworms flickered in rhythm, making the clearing glow like a lantern. The song wrapped around them like a gentle blanket, each note lulling them deeper into peace. Kipp leaned back against the damp bark of a eucalyptus, blinking slowly. He had never felt so warm, so safe, so surrounded by gentle magic. The rain, the fire, the friends, the songs, the treasures, it was as though the forest itself was dreaming with them. He smiled drowsily, realizing that what had started as a small fire had turned into a circle of hearts glowing brighter than the flames. And as the night deepened, the sleepy koala felt the stories and songs weaving into his own dreams, carrying him toward the quietest, gentlest slumber of his life. The fire crackled softly, its glow flickering in warm gold against the damp, rain-speckled leaves, and Kipp's drowsy eyes fluttered open just in time to notice something unusual. As the flames leapt, tiny sparks drifted upward, but instead of vanishing into the night, they seemed to linger, floating like glowing fireflies. The mist rising from the wet earth caught the sparks, shaping them into shimmering patterns in the air. The friends gasped quietly, each one seeing something different in the fiery mist. Pip leaned forward, whiskers twitching. "That looks like a running cloud," he whispered, recognizing his dream from earlier. The spark shapes shifted again, and now Luma saw a rainbow stretching across the clearing. "Look," she quacked softly, "the colors are humming in the air." The glowworms joined in, their tiny lights blinking to match the rhythm, until it felt as if the whole forest was singing with them. Tilly, with her wings folded close, tilted her head in awe. "The forest is showing us our dreams," she whispered. And she was right. Shapes formed one after another, a silver moon blanket rocking gently, a little burrow lined with safety, and a golden feather gliding slowly above the flames. Each one was something they had shared, now glowing back at them like a gift from the night. The rain, still steady, seemed to soften its song, tapping against the leaves in harmony. Drops of water fell onto the fire, not with a hiss, but with a sparkle, as though each raindrop carried starlight inside. Kipp blinked, his heavy eyes tracing the way smoke spiraled into the sky, curling like long, gentle ribbons that touched the treetops. In the shifting glow, he saw faces in the mist, kind, ancient faces of eucalyptus spirits, smiling quietly, watching over them. A hush fell over the circle. Even the frogs, usually croaking happily nearby, had grown still, as if they too were listening. The rain had transformed into a lullaby, the fire into a storyteller, the sparks into painters of dreams. The friends leaned closer together, their shoulders brushing, their hearts slowing into the same rhythm. Then something extraordinary happened. The fire's sparks gathered into the shape of a bridge, glowing across the clearing, and for a moment it felt as though they could all walk into the sky. Pip whispered, "Maybe if we follow it, we'll find the dream world itself." But no one moved. They knew it wasn't a bridge for their feet, it was a bridge for their minds, for their dreams to cross together. Kipp's eyelids drooped, heavy with comfort, as he realized he wasn't just sleepy because of the rain or the warmth. He was sleepy because the night itself was tucking them in, wrapping them in a story bigger than any they had told. He leaned against Tilly, who leaned against Luma, who leaned against Pip, until they were all a soft, cozy bundle around the fire. The mist swirled, the sparks shimmered, and the rain whispered on. The forest's magic was not loud or bright, it was gentle, quiet, and kind, the kind that made you feel safe enough to let go. Kipp's breathing slowed, his chest rising and falling in time with the glowing fire. He felt the last of his worries melt away, replaced by the warmth of friendship and the music of rain. And in that moment, as the flames painted their dreams in the sky, the sleepy koala drifted off, knowing that this night, this campfire, and these friends would stay in his heart forever, glowing softly like the sparks in the mist. The fire burned lower, its crackles softening into whispers, and the rain had become a steady curtain of silver mist around them. Kipp stretched his little arms, his paws brushing the damp grass, and let out a long, sleepy sigh. The warmth of the campfire seemed to lean closer, almost as if it were listening to his breathing and matching its rhythm. He blinked slowly, the world around him slipping between waking and dreaming. Pip was the first to nod off. His tiny nose twitched once, then stilled, and his whiskers drooped as he curled tightly into a ball, the tip of his tail just brushing Kipp's side. The crackle of the fire reflected in his fur, making him look like a golden ember, safe and glowing. Next, Luma's soft quacks grew quieter, like a lullaby fading into silence, and she tucked her beak under her wing, feathers puffed gently in the cool night. Even the glowworms dimmed their light, as if lowering a lantern so the world could sleep. Tilly stayed awake a little longer, her bright eyes fixed on the smoke curling upward. "It's like a staircase," she whispered drowsily, "a staircase to the stars." Her voice was soft, fragile, and before Kipp could answer, her head nestled into her wing and she slipped into dreams. One by one, the forest's friends surrendered to the night, wrapped in the hush of rain and firelight. The fire itself seemed to know. Its flames no longer leapt, they glowed steadily, like a guardian keeping watch. Sparks rose only occasionally now, floating higher than before, disappearing into the rainy sky as if carrying dreams safely to the stars. The mist thickened, but instead of hiding the friends, it seemed to cradle them, a blanket woven of clouds and moonlight. Kipp fought to keep his eyes open, his heart swelling with quiet gratitude. He looked at each of his friends, Pip's tiny frame curled like a leaf, Luma's feathers shining faintly, Tilly's wings folded with trust. He felt the weight of the moment, how special it was to share this rainy night, this campfire, this silence. His own body began to sink with sleep, his ears full of the rain's lullaby, his fur warm from the fire's glow. Above the treetops, the storm finally began to break. The clouds parted, just enough to reveal a patch of sky, and the moon peered through like a gentle guardian eye. The rain softened to a sprinkle, its drops light as kisses against the earth. The forest sighed, a sound so soft Kipp barely noticed it, but his heart felt it, the sound of everything being safe, whole, and at peace. Kipp nestled deeper against his friends, his eyelids too heavy to lift again. His last thought before sleep was simple and warm: the rain can fall, the fire can fade, but friendship will keep glowing. And with that thought, he drifted off, the little circle by the campfire resting quietly under the rainy sky, guarded by the forest, the moon, and the gentle heart of the night. As the little circle of friends rested, the rain tapping its steady rhythm above them, dreams began to bloom like secret flowers in their hearts. Each dream was different, yet somehow, they all threaded together, weaving a single story that carried them gently across the night. Pip was the first to dream. In his tiny slumber, he found himself standing atop a golden acorn, floating down a sparkling stream. The water carried him smoothly, stars reflected in its surface, and each ripple hummed a lullaby just for him. He squeaked with delight, ears twitching, feeling both safe and adventurous. The stream didn't frighten him, it held him like a cradle, carrying him somewhere wonderful. Luma's dream touched Pip's gently, as if she were waiting at the stream's edge. She dreamed of a vast silver lake, its surface so calm it mirrored the moon perfectly. As she waddled across it, she found that the water didn't sink beneath her feet, it became glass beneath each step, glowing brighter the further she went. And there, in the center of the lake, a ring of glowing feathers spiraled upward, like a soft stairway reaching into the night sky. She quacked softly in her sleep, smiling at the magic she felt. Tilly's dream was different but folded into theirs. She dreamed of clouds, not stormy ones, but fluffy, cottony ones stacked into bridges and arches. They stretched across the sky, rainbow-tinted from the light of the stars. Tilly flew between them, her wings strong and wide, and every flap left behind little sparks of light that shimmered and drifted like glitter. She giggled in her sleep, her body shifting slightly as if her wings were truly flapping in another world. Kipp, nestled between them, dreamed last, but his dream gathered all the others inside it. He found himself in a glowing meadow, each blade of grass shining like emerald glass, each raindrop perched delicately on flowers that hummed with soft, sleepy songs. When he looked closer, he saw Pip's golden acorn floating nearby, Luma's silver feathers glowing at the edges of the meadow, and Tilly's rainbow spark clouds arching overhead like bridges connecting every corner. His friends were there too, smiling, their laughter soft and echoing through the dream. The dreams wound together, creating one big adventure where they all walked side by side, Pip balancing on his golden acorn, Luma lighting their path with glowing feathers, Tilly gliding overhead, and Kipp leading them through the shining meadow. They weren't afraid of the night, the rain, or the unknown, because together, everything felt gentle, everything felt safe. Back by the campfire, the rain had almost stopped, leaving only a soft drizzle that kissed the earth. The fire had dimmed to glowing embers, pulsing like a slow heartbeat, and the smoke drifted upward in lazy swirls, carrying the friends' dreams to the stars. The forest itself seemed to lean closer, listening to their quiet breaths and promising to hold them in peace until morning. And so, under the blanket of the rainy night, four little friends slept soundly, dreaming of golden acorns, glowing lakes, rainbow clouds, and magical meadows. The campfire whispered, the raindrops sang, and the world wrapped them in a lullaby only they could hear. When morning came, they would wake together, stronger in their bond, ready for new adventures. But for now, the night belonged to their dreams, soft, safe, and endless.